For both these teams, as you've said, I'm sure that both of these guys did go off and study each other, study the demos that are available, but there is no demos available for this map. This is the first time we've seen it. So this one I think is going to be interesting. But let's get semi-final number 1 underway. Pacific Macta up against Q9. The winner of this will go through to that grand final tomorrow. But first, they have to win this best of 3.
Starting it off, we're already going to have some action here. Zemo gets ZDD knocked out here over on the B bridge. Nice way to get things started for Q9. Already grabbing that opening pick. Revenge trying to sneak in and potentially get a trade here, but he's going to run into trouble. Zemo, though, just moving his position barely in time to knock it off. But Q9 doing a great job so far, holding off this B push. Finally, ZYK gets the double kill trade, though. He has to do more than that to hold on. Those solos already rotated in, takes down ZYK, and it's Revenge alone now, left in a 1v3. He's already been spotted here, though, by Solo. All that has to happen now is a collapse from Q9, and that is going to be a very clean first round from them.
Q9 are getting real loud, even in this first match of the day. And not only are they winning or yelling in celebration, just their comms are very frantic. But as long as it works for them, then they'll take those, I guess, and they will be off with a first side win, or a first round win, I should say, on their defending side here. Now, Ankara, which way would you say this one's biased, Kyle? Either way or more even?
I'd say this one leans slightly towards the Blacklist side, the generic half being sort of a 5-4 Blacklist side. So definitely a half that Pacific Macta should want to win here, but Bean, nice trade there onto RGXM. Revenge, though, did get the opening pick, so still going to be an even 4-on-4 here. But Pacific, they definitely want to be looking for that tie round early on.
Definitely don't want to let Q9 get any sort of momentum happening here. Need to be able to fight back immediately. We've started off this round the right way. Care of Revenge grabbing that opening, but the answering LWM of Bean does fire back and claim RGXM, so not quite the direct arm duel, but certainly both snipers being impactful in the opening rounds of this one. Let's see what else they can get done, though. In the meantime, Pacific slowing their push down. They are moving over towards B, but still going slowly. Taking map control, moving around in pairs. We were talking about this during the break, and this is the basics of slow map control. It's just to move around in pairs, try and find out where the defenders are playing from. Guarantee yourself that 2-on-1 if you do manage to catch someone out. Guarantee the trade. And now they'll be creeping up the lower ramp into this B site. There is a good bit of support here for the side of Q9.
ZZHY, he's going to be the first point of engage here with Zemo. Nade's already coming over the top, though. ZYK finds the opener. It's up to Zemo to try and hold on here. He's going to run into trouble. ZYK, again, being the powerhouse entry for his team, finds the double kill, and now it's all on Yaze and Bean to retake this one in Pacific. They're in a great position now to take their first round of the map, and Bean, he's going to be looking for that back entry here. Meanwhile, Yaze going to be going from the underpass. ZDD, though, has to be careful. He's going to get pinched here alone. His team has to either peek and support or he's going to go down. Bean finds him too quick, though, for Aldrin to go for the counter peek. He's going to peek late, though, still finds Bean. It's going to be Yaze looking for the 1v2. Now it's all on ZYK. He's been the hero of his team so far in this matchup, and we'll see if he can continue that forward. Yaze, though, gets the fake. Going to get the peek out of that as well. And nicely, Q9 find themselves another round on the board. And honestly, a 3-on-2 Pacific shouldn't have lost that one.
ZYK in a very difficult position, had to peek for that fake defuse there. New time was low, and it was either, well, he had to gamble that it was either being stuck and he could swing out wide and get that kill, or that it was a fake, and it was pretty much the only opportunity that Q9 had to make that one work. And ZYK does peek out, unfortunately for him, a little bit too wide and give it up. A very near thing, but nonetheless, it's a round that Q9 will be able to grab away, bringing them to 2-0 now on our first map. This is a good start.
ZDD going to run into some trouble here. ZZHY gets the opener, and Q9 again feeling comfortable so far on this global risk side. Solo takes down Aldrin as well. This could be another nice headshot. ZYK, though, again, finding the openings for his team. Almost able to get the double kill, but not quite. The support comes in from Zemo. Big double kill going his way. And now it's Revenge all alone in a 1v4. And again, we see things not looking too hot for the side of Pacific.
This is a much slower start from them than I was expecting in terms of getting the kills happening, but Zemo will close it out. Q9, they just look ready for this. This is not the shaky, unsure Q9 that we've seen, or the one making mistakes where they push and give away frags early on. They're just playing passive, holding their sights, taking the fights when they need to, and hitting all of their shots. Pacific, on the other hand, are missing just a little bit. Hopefully they'll be able to turn things around now and come back into this one, get some rounds on the board.
Q9 honestly playing really well so far, and very surprised that if their Ankara was this good, they've banned it every single group stage match almost. So definitely a strong decision to lift that as a change in their ban. So now it is going to be Q9 potentially for a 4-0 lead here if they can continue this momentum forward. And Pacific, they are in dire need of at least one round on the board here very soon. Q9, though, they're going to be playing sort of a passive stack over towards A. A couple players already pushing out for info over towards this B bomb side. ZZXQ, the most forward player here, he's going to be in this corner of the lower tunnels and underpass. We'll see if ZDD is ready for that position. He's not going to, though. Just a little late on the reaction. And ZZXQ finds the opener.
He's left on just 5 HP, but nonetheless, he'll get the frag and get out alive. We'll swap out that AWM as well. Makes sense to go for that low HP sniper. You don't need to have a lot of HP to win a one-shot duel, whereas you generally need to not be super low if you're going to go for a extended spray fight against another rifle. So, good to see if ZZXQ can be as effective as Bean is, but he's certainly having a decent game for himself so far. Revenge sneaking up. We'll be looking for the first pick here as they move towards this B-bomb site.
ZZXQ, though, about to run into some trouble. Both players, though, missing the shot. Revenge gets the repeat with that Desert Eagle. Aldrin finds Bean in mid as well. And just like that, Pacific, they've got an opening for a round here. RGXM finds Yaze on the mid-rotation. It's going to be a 2-on-3 already, but Q9, they won the last 2v3 here on the B retake. So Pacific, they have to be even more careful this time around. Zemo and Solo this time going to be the last two alive here, but RGXM, he's caught on to a potential flank here, and rightfully so. It's going to be Zemo here just waiting for the mistake to come through, but it's going to be RGXM gets the best of him there. And now it's Solo left in 1v3. Revenge, though, has already spotted him on the tower. He's going to drop down. Solo finds the first, finds the second. A potential 1v3 here. RGXM is left alone. Can he do it? It's going to pull it off just barely, though. Very scary potential situation there, but in the end, Pacific barely slide away with their first round.
That would have been another early round 1v3 for Solo, or early game 1v3, I should say. We saw this in their very first game of the tournament, and he nearly pulls it off there, a very close one, but Pacific will manage to just about hold on to it. It was dangerous from them. Got to be careful with a player like Solo that you can't give him that many opportunities, but Revenge predicts the peak of Bean perfectly, grabs that opener, and that's an excellent start now coming in for Pacific.
Now they're just going to funnel right into this A-bomb site. Yaze not able to make anything happen as well. Solo finally rotating in, gets himself a frag here, but see if he can do any more. It's not going to happen. ZDD, though, just jump colts him off the top of the A-bomb site. And now it's already down to a 2-on-4. ZDD already down to 10 HP, though. RGXM at half. Aldrin getting lit up here as well. This is still a winnable clutch for Q9 if they can collapse in and grab some individual fights. But ZZXQ runs into trouble, already knocked down to 19 HP there from Aldrin. It's going to be up to Zemo to find the opening here. He's working his way slowly through the A connector, but Revenge, he's holding this angle perfectly, takes him down, and they pick up both kills there on the post plant and find themselves now just down by a single round.
And now it's Pacific who are starting to make some noise, getting excited, and well-deserved as well. Managed to fight their way from 3-0 down back to 3-2. Could be one more here to tie this one up, but Q9 certainly not going to be too shaken by the fact that they've lost those 2 rounds. They've both just been losing a couple of early round frags, and then not quite able to convert the 2 versus 3, 2 versus 4 situations.
Now we see it is going to be Yaze and Solo now on the A-bomb site. Interesting decision. They switched Bean over towards B, but rightfully so. He wasn't too successful installing anything on that previous A push. So ZYK, he's already going to be trying to sneak out here, but Yaze in a good position to catch him off guard if he fully commits, but it's going to be ZYK playing patient, but Yaze is going to overcommit here on this peak. ZYK, though, still unable to grab that kill, and Solo finds himself one from A top as well. Not quite the start Pacific was looking for here. Solo already with the double kill as well.
Now sitting at 8-4, it's been a great start to the game for him. Leaves it up to just Revenge and ZDD to try and convert this one. Difficult round for them, and not sure how much they can really get done here. Both these players are separated as well, so let's try and find a few frags, then link up, then try and take a bomb site here. ZDD will be looking for the first. With that rifle in hand, he's going to be a bit more of a playmaker than Revenge, potentially. Especially given he doesn't have the bomb, doesn't want Revenge to have to commit aggressively and drop that. So ZDD needs to find himself a frag here. Revenge has grabbed one, and Bean, depending on this timing, if he unscopes again, he might just be caught off guard, but instead, he waits perfectly. Timing not going to work out for ZDD, and it leaves it all into Revenge in a 1 versus 4 with 40 seconds left.
The only advantage Revenge has that is nobody on the B bomb side. I'm interested why they haven't at least rotated one over Revenge. If he just decides to go B here, he'll have an open bomb site, but still a 1v4, not a likely story. But We'll see how it goes. Revenge going to be running right into a death trap here. The only option to frag out, but it's just not going to happen. Yaze, the one to seal the deal there, and it's going to be 4-2, and Q9, they're off to a really good start here. Not quite what I was expecting from them here.
Yeah, they certainly are looking a lot better than they did yesterday and throughout the groups, but getting into these semis where we're at single elimination, there's no better time to turn your game around, so it's a good thing for Q9. Certainly starting themselves off the right way here. It is a best of 3, so still need to do this on one more map if they can claim this win here on Anchor. But that would be a good start. As we've said, this map pool does lean a bit towards Pacific, in my mind at least. So starting off with a map that we haven't yet seen this tournament and grabbing a win would certainly help out Q9 here.
Definitely would. And Pacific, they're letting this half slip already. It's one round away from being Q9's half secured. This is really where Pacific needs to anchor down. ZDD only on 1 and 5. Aldrin, normally a strong player as well, only sitting at 3 and 5. It's really just been Revenge and ZYK finding the openings here so far, and they're definitely going to need a full team effort. They want to bring back this half. Q9, though, they're playing for tons of information right now. Yaze is scouting out from the A connector, just waiting for someone to make a mistake potentially out here towards A. He's going to find Aldrin already. That's a tough way to keep things moving forward for Pacific, but still, they're going to lose another here. Mid Revenge goes down, and things already looking pretty grim once again for Pacific.
The Pacific from yesterday just seems to be a bit missing here, not hitting their shots. Certainly not looking as formidable as they did, but Q9 have definitely come to play. Solo sitting at 9 and 4 already, having an excellent half for himself. The tray comes out, RGXM gets 1, but no more than that. And now Solo getting involved, puts himself on double digits with a quick double frag. And Bean, while he will get caught off by ZYK, still the 1 versus 3 needed now into the 1 versus 2. And ZYK was incredibly strong yesterday. Definitely the highlight player in the latter stages of the group stage. Might be able to convert this one, but can't quite win the fight against Zemo.
Now it will be 5-2. Q9 just feeling alive today, much different than we've seen from them the past couple days, but if there's any time to step up to the plate, it's definitely now. And they have already secured this first half, guaranteed to go their way. Potentially it could be 7-2 if they close it out confidently, as they have been playing on point right now, but Solo already on 11 frags. Great performance this first half from him. Aldrin, though, just rushes straight into mid, trying to connect on the shot, but Zemo just going to be toying with him. They connect the shots, and just like that, it's already a 1v4. ZDD going to be in a very tight spot here, already under half HP.
This one's all but unwinnable, and Solo's going to go and grab it. 13 frags on the board for him now. This is a much changed Q9 from the one we've seen over the rest of this tournament, over the group stages, but this is perhaps finally the Q9 we were expecting from the start of the event.
It definitely is. They're a whole new team here in these best of 3s, and it's already looking like map 1 could be theirs for the taking. If they secure this last round, it's going to be a 7-2 half. Pacific, though, looking very shaky on the day. We haven't seen a whole lot of anything from them just yet. A couple good rounds, but that's surely not going to be enough here. A map like Anchor, you've got to anchor down on this blacklist side. Generally, it does lean that way, but they don't even have a chance to win this blacklist half now. The best they can do is a 3-6 finish, but they surely need that to have a chance here to even close this one back in their favor as they go into their second half. They are a very dominant global risk team, so it is one we could potentially see them win back here, but it definitely needs to start here. Revenge, though, looking for this opening pick on the vents, but Zemo just going to be toying with him here, trying to test his luck and see if Revenge will go for the wide peak. But Yaze, he's there for the support as well, going to be playing behind the arches, waiting to see if someone from Pacific goes for the wide swing onto A, but there's also going to be a couple players playing for information here. ZZXQ already getting a little antsy, pushing out of B slowly. He's going to get some intel for his team. ZYK going to be playing for the connector rotation, but right now, this is a very good setup for Q9 to hold it off.
Double nade to try and get rid of the player at bottom vents, but not going to work out, unfortunately, for Pacific. It's going to have to be down to the aim jewels, and Zemo lays in. Wait, we'll get taken down by Aldrin, but here's the other for the trade. Finds himself 1, a lot of damage, but only that. Now Solo getting involved, 2 kills, and almost the 3rd, not quite. A lot of damage across though for him. Currently sitting at 15 and 6, incredibly dominant half so far. And now in this final round, it's down to a 2 versus 2. RGXM left quite low. Revenge, having swapped out of that AK, getting away from the AWM for now. Needs to be the one to do a lot of the damage here, but the bomb site is theirs. RGXM can put that thing down. And now it'll have to be a retake for Bean and ZZXQ.
And honestly, it's not too bad of a situation for Pacific. You have the two lowest performers of the half so far for Q9 left to retake here. So it's really just going to come down to how they challenge this fence position. Revenge, though, he already finds the first. It's all on ZZXY, but both players are fairly low, so he could still make this happen. They just have to run down the clock and force the exchange. But it's going to be a 1v1 here for Revenge. He goes down, trying to take that fight a bit too soon. It's now left to the very low HP RGXM here, but ZZXY, he's already on the hunt. He's going to go for the fake defuse, see if he gets the peek out of him. He will. And he'll take down the defuse on top of that. That's a 7-2 half for Q9 here. A very confident start to the series.
If we didn't have player cam, I almost wouldn't believe that it was the same player sitting in those seats for Q9 as compared to the way we saw them play throughout the group stages. I mean, you could almost do the same for Pacific here. Are these guys actually like swap players sneakily?
I'm not sure what it is, but you can almost tell by looking at Pacific, they just don't look like they have that confidence behind them that we saw in the past 2 days. And for some reason, Q9 just seems to bring out the nerves in them. And if they want to win this series, they're going to have to get some motivation behind them. Otherwise, this could be a grim fate for them. They were so strong in the group stage, but still, they've got to carry that forward here into this semifinal. And so far, this first map is looking like it may fall against them surely at this point. I mean, 7-2, it's already 3 rounds away from being Q9's map here.
And while we've seen a couple comebacks so far in this tournament, we've not seen any 5-round deficits recovered from. We've seen a couple 2 and 3 rounds brought back into the win or the overtime, but never anything this big. The only games with deficits this big have become the few 10 3s and 4s that we've had.
Crazy thing as well, that was actually Q9's first global risk half win in the entire event so far as well, up until this point. And yeah, they have it 7-2, so they should be feeling very confident about closing out this first map in their favor because they've been a very strong team on the blacklist side this entire tournament. It's global risk sides that they seem to slip on, but not now. They're ready to close this one out. They're already going to start it with a pretty confident play over towards A here, but oddly enough, they do still have 2 players sitting towards the back of their spawn.
A slow start on the attack for Q9 then. Taking a bit of control over towards this A bomb site, but there is 3 players stacked up here for Pacific. That'll be a bit of a tough crossfire to break. And it looks like that is where Q9 wants to go. So this gives Pacific a very good chance of winning this round if they can make this crossfire work. The flash going to hit a few players, but the entry is in immediately. Zemo finding one, charging in for the double kill, and not quite the third, but ZZXY will grab it for him. All 3 players on the A bomb site fall without a single frag. Revenge will at least get 1, but 1 is nowhere near enough. If you're going to be triple stacked and there's 5 players coming at you, you've got to at least get 2, if not 3. Revenge is looking to make it work. There are already 2 frags for him in the round. ZDD is having all the utility in the world chucked his way, though, and this is going to be a very difficult retake for them. Goes to the first base and will find that frag, and the second with the quick adjustment. Will they expect Bean in this corner? They're both going to run by, and Bean holds his fire and goes for the spray transfer. 2 headshots and a 1 versus 2.
You can see Q9, even though they won that round, still a little bit disappointed it came down in that 2v5 to a 1v2 for Bean. Luckily, his patience paid off, and that's going to make it an 8-2 game, just 2 rounds away from map 1 already being in the hands of Q9 here, who surely went in as almost the underdogs after their early performance, but you definitely couldn't tell that in their performance here now. So they're just about to close this one out. Aldrin, though, pushes up A long. It's going to be a 2-for-2 trade so far, but Aldrin, he finds himself another. It's a 3-on-2, and finally Pacific, they're not afraid, and that's what's going to get them the round here. Potentially, it's 1-on-3 already, and ZZXY, he's going to be left alone here towards mid.
A much better start here from Pacific. A much better round indeed. Aldrin gets involved, and there's ZYK to grab that final headshot as well to bring it back. So there's the first round in quite some time going the way of Pacific here. We now sit 8-3, but Q9 still just 2 away, right on the brink of forcing this one into either a 2-0 for them or a 3-map series. There are a full reverse sweep going to be needed for Pacific if they can, or if they do lose this map, if they can even get back into it. We did say, looking at the maps, Black Widow and Port up next, that it's certainly a doable reverse sweep for them, but we weren't expecting Q9 to be this strong, I don't think, on this map.
Definitely not. I mean, global risk was always a weak point for them. I don't think anybody would have predicted a 7-2 start for them on that half, and now all they have to do is close it out with 2 rounds on the blacklist side. But something to keep in mind is Pacific, they're still a very, very strong defensive team. That's where they seem to thrive, but still, Bean does find the initial pick here. It's going to be Aldrin going down, so Pacific find themselves in a difficult start of round situation here once again.
Revenge still alive for Pacific, though, and he's certainly been Having a decent impact with this AWM. Certainly in the last round, he was one of the instrumental players in making that 2v5 almost a win. He's going to need to do a bit more here. They've already lost one, so Revenge needs to have himself a big round. At least 2 kills probably going to be necessary for him so he can go into a 3v3 if he does get traded. And if really anyone on Pacific goes down without getting at least 1 frag, this is going to be very difficult for them.
Definitely will be. And Q9, they're going to be zoning over towards B and A while the bomb just sits safely in their spawn. So they're just waiting to see if they can find another opening before they go in. Definitely a smart decision from Q9. They know they already have an advantage, but they're going to go ahead and try and create an even larger one before they actually go in for an execution. But it looks like the time is running low enough to where they are going to start grouping up over towards this B bomb site. They're going to leave Solo here to lurk in mid, but rightfully so. Him and Zemo have been so effective so far in this matchup. They do find themselves another pick as well. ZDD goes down in Pacific. They're going to be in a tough one here for this hold on the B bomb site. It's actually going to be Revenge all alone to hold off both aggressive angles here. He's going to find the first. He has to do more than that. He needs at least 2 or 3 frags here, but he's actually going to back off and play for retake, but he only has 13 HP to work with here. Still a very tough situation for Pacific. Revenge is going to be trying to go for another here from the tower pick. He's got to find one, but Q9, they're playing this one smart. They're not going to overcommit on their peaks here. Revenge just needs ZZXY to peek out far enough to find this shot, but ZZXY, he's playing it so patiently, just waiting for ZYK to potentially challenge him on the cross. It's going to be a nice flash, comes over, but RGXM finds one with a nade, and this is the opening they needed, but Zemo, he's on the lurk behind them, and Revenge has no idea. He's going to sneak through, but that shot gives his position away. Yaze finds one, but it's traded out. It's down to a 2v2, but Zemo, he's already found one from behind. RGXM takes it to the 1v1, but he needs this for his team to win it, but it's not going to happen. Zemo holds on, and that's a big round for Q9.
That would have been a very difficult one if he hadn't managed to get that kill there for Zemo, because the bomb was not planted for him. It was concealed behind the side boxes. So had the defuse been attempted there by Pacific, he would have had to push out quite a long way for that one, but does manage to clean it up before it gets too dangerous. And that's Q9 now on map point at 9-3. This will be a 10-3 map 1 in this best of 3. I don't know what it is about the last 2 days. Our first day of the tournament, if you did miss it, was full of 10-8s. We had, I think, a 10-3, a 10-4, and then a 10-7 or a 10-6. Those were our close games. Everything other than that was 10-8s or overtimes. But yesterday, there was a lot of 10-3s, 10-4s. We're already looking like a 10-3 on map 1 in the semis.
Definitely an interesting change of events, especially the team about to 10-3 being Q9, a team that struggled to say the least in the group stage, now looking completely dominant here to start off this best of 3 series. And you can already tell this is a much more comfortable team than we've seen so far from them this entire event. And now they're going to be taking this potential last round over towards Underpass here to try and sneak up into this B position. ZDD is very forward here, though. He needs to be careful not to get caught alone because he could be pinched quite easily here. But it's actually just going to be him playing safe on the corners. ZZHY, this is going to be a patience game, but Aldrin, he's going to be the first point of contact. He actually sees one player model in the corner there. He's going to throw the flashbang out. ZDD finds one. Aldrin gets one. Now it's going to be up to Yaze to answer back, but it's not going to matter. ZDD rotates back in, and it's already a 1v4. Great hold there from ZDD and Aldrin, but Solo, he is still alive, and you need to be afraid of him in this situation because he is a clutch machine. He's shown us the ability to do it time and time again.
Now he's looking for the 1 versus 3, and ZDD will swing out and grab that headshot. So it's not over just yet. No 10-3, but still, it's such a long way for Pacific to come back into this. They have started out the right way by not losing just yet, but they're going to have their backs against the wall for every single round. They need to be flawless here to get all the way to that 9-9 needed for overtime. 5 rounds from here, 6 including the one they just won. Revenge will grab the first kill though on the cross.
Q9, even though they lose one, they make the right decision here. They commit to their mid push, and now they have that control in their hands, but they still have to be careful. Revenge and Aldrin have a pinch on them. They already find one on the Solo. It's already looking like a positive round for Pacific, but Bean finds one from the spawn. Now all they have to do is try and anchor down this position and get Pacific to be a little bit antsy on them, and maybe they'll get some picks to go their way. ZZHY finds an opening, though, takes control of the B bomb site. Now it's a 3v3, looking very winnable for Q9 in this one. Aldrin tries to pop out and surprise ZZHY there on the flank. It's not going to work, but ZYK here, he's already going to be pushing up from the lower tunnels. Yaze, though, supporting nicely there. Q9 find one pick, but Aldrin, he's still alive here. ZZHY holds on to the position, and the bomb is planted as well. RGXM, again, stuck in a 1v1. We'll see if he can win it. Gets the headshot. Beautifully done, and once again, Pacific, it comes down to the wire, but they're still holding on here.
They just managed to stay alive in another one, but that came down to that 1 versus 1 again. Q9 even losing the first player or two, are still doing so much damage. That was a 3v5, I think, into a 1v1, something like that. So Pacific certainly being tested here, being pushed for every single round they managed to take. And at this point, given that Q9 is still doing so much damage, even on the rounds they lose, it does feel like just a matter of time before the Chinese side are able to close out Ankara here. But we'll see. Pacific have done this. Well, they've played very well in the previous days of this tournament. They've done this before, so maybe that comeback into overtime is on the cards for them.
Right now, there's a nice cross setup here on this A bomb site. ZZXY finds one, but RGXM opens it up with the double. That's still going to be a lot of impact done by these two holds of Pacific Macta. It's going to be a 3v2 retake, but it's going to be Zemo and ZZXY potentially falling off here. Smart decision. They're going to potentially try and assume they've rotated here over towards A, but Pacific, they actually didn't move anyone at all off of that loss of A players. Interesting decision, but it may save them around here by not getting too antsy, and rightfully so. They have Revenge in a spot where he can see the cross on A top. Maybe that's why they didn't rotate anyone over just yet. So Revenge definitely in a key position here in that tower. And now, because of that information, they're going to actually send potentially Aldrin back over to B.
Might just be a little bit too late, though. As Q9 have made their way up onto that side. This means they will be able to get that bomb down now and go for this Q9. It's going to have to be a 1 versus 3, though. ZZXY bomb not yet planted. In a very difficult position indeed. Needs to find the first frag just to make some space. And Revenge going to hit it with a quick flick. Pacific, they're starting to make this happen.
Yeah, 3 rounds in a row now. Definitely a great start into potentially taking this into overtime. They've got 3, but they still have 3 more that they need to even have a chance of taking back Ankara. But as we've seen Pacific, once they get the momentum on their global risk side, they are a extremely difficult team to try and shut down here. And with Revenge feeling those shots, he's been getting pick after pick here, even in the late portions of rounds, and that's something that you need to look out for. But RGXM as well, on his initial holds here over towards this A bomb site, he's been able to consistently grab 2 on this global risk side, and that's enough of an impact to basically stall Q9 out of their ability to take A very easily. So right now, Pacific, even though they're down by 3, this is still very doable for them.
Certainly is. And it wouldn't be unusual seeing the first game of the day with Q9 and it going to overtime. Certainly not the first time that we've seen it. It was our very first game of the tournament, which went that way. Q9's actually been in our first game all 3 days. They played Black Dragons first and lost it on sub base. They played Carbon yesterday and lost it on Black Widow. Now, though, looking to break the curse of first game and losing. Still in the driver's seat here on Ankara.
ZDD runs into trouble, though. ZZXY just patiently peeks him there. And that's a nice opening pick for Q9. And first in a while, that's gone their way. Now it's all about the execution. Making sure it's solid and on point for these guys is extremely important for them to try and close this one out. And Pacific, they're going to be trying to hold on in a numbers down situation now, but it's going to be Q9. They make the smart decision, though. They avoid this engage over towards the A bomb site. They know how consistent RGXM's been in that position, so they're going to make the smart move to rotate off and go for the B hit. They have been much more successful here, but they do want to be careful. There's already going to be a fight here in the lower tunnels. It's going to be Aldrin winning that exchange, though. Pacific, they have an opening now to take yet another round away, but Solo, he is still alive and kicking, finds himself the trade there, but ZZXY, he's going to be committing to the side push, but ZYK, he's hiding between the stacks on site. This is a great position for him to potentially catch this planter off guard. ZYK, though, he's going to peek the planter, finds it, and that's a huge momentum boost in this round, but Pacific, they need something big here.
Just 20, so 15 seconds left now. Looks like this one might just happen off the back of that planter kill. 10 seconds now. Q9 had to get a move on here very, very quickly and find these last 2 frags. The damage has been done. Revenge is left very, very low, but now 1 versus 2 solo. He's a big clutch player. He needs to do it now. 3 seconds left. Finds one. Spins around to the other. Can't quite find that frag. Revenge has run off and stayed alive. In a very close one indeed, but once again, the clutch goes the way of Pacific.
Definitely a smart risk decision coming out from Revenge. He knew when there was 10 seconds on the clock and 2 alive, you just saw him book it there over towards the A-bomb site just to get out of trade distance and avoid that potential 1v2 clutch. And now it's just 2 rounds away from potential overtime here. Pacific, they may have done it, and they may find themselves in a chance still yet to win this game. But right now, they still have 2 more rounds to prove it here to take this one into overtime. And it's going to be a difficult one right now. Q9, they're going to be scouting out towards mid and B here to start off the round. No presence over towards A. Still going to be avoiding that engage onto RGXM's position, but Pacific playing very forward in the lower B tunnels here. They've got Two players pushed up underpass, just waiting to see if someone peeks out on them. ZDD going to be playing very forward here, but they do need to be careful. There's 3 players of Q9 already ready and waiting in A connector.
And if Pacific can bring this comeback home, it will be back-to-back, almost the most dominant halves we've seen. We did have that 1-8-1. 7-2 would tie us up with, or get very close to that. It would certainly be the biggest comebacks we've seen. Revenge is hitting some nasty shots here in this second half. He is currently 10-3, looking for more as well. Solo's in a great position to lurk out though and grab himself 2. That's a great little adjustment there from him to find that. If he can grab this 3rd, it would be even better, but can't do it. And ZDD walks in and finds both.
That's
and from 7-2, that's a massive round. 7-2 now, 9-8. This would be back-to-back 7-2 halves from the defensive side if Pacific can bring this final round home. On the other side of things, it's Q9 looking to finally grab that 18th round win. They're up 7-2 and they haven't been able to do it yet, but still a chance for them.
Pacific, though, they've made a big gamble here. They're going to leave RGXM alone on the A bomb site, and that is exactly where Q9 looked to take this. The triple nade, though, in the beginning of the round took 3 players down to about half HP, but RGXM has to come up huge on this hold. He's going to run right into trouble. Zemo, though, very great at these early flashes onto A. The call is made, though. There's already rotation. ZYK going to be playing on the back of fence. Finds one on Tabine. Pacific trying to take this into OT. It's down to a 4-on-3, and they can do this. Revenge, he's still going to be holding A top. Spots 2 players, calls their positions. And this is exactly what they needed. They have the information. They know where everybody is. And they can stall this one out completely. ZYK still holding the back of fence, and there's no opportunities to get this bomb down for Q9. Aldrin already working on the rotation behind as well, and Q9, they have nowhere to go here.
So Pacific now very, very close to turning this one around, but all of a sudden Q9 grabbed 2 frags, bring it back into the 3 versus 2. And now Aldrin and Revenge. Revenge in particular has been incredibly good so far this half, sitting at 11-4, but their teammates have fallen from an advantage to a disadvantage in the space of about 2 seconds. It's going to have to be a big clutch from them with 35 seconds left on that bomb. It is a fresh plant by the time that they rotate over, particularly Revenge. It's going to have to take a bit of time here. And Aldrin needs to find 1 frag if he can to open up the way for his teammate to rotate on in, but Revenge is actually looking for the opening. And no one from Q9 is going to be peeking to give it to them just yet. They really should be playing passive here, and they are. Solo does expose himself, but Revenge is going to be a very difficult shot to hit. He does somehow hit it, but the trade comes through, and now it's Aldrin 1 versus 2. Both players low HP, but he can't do it. Q9 eventually, after a 7-2, they do get it 10-8. Gotta say though, Q9, that looks a bit cocky given how far you're up and you only just managed to grab it. Don't get too excited, boys, but nonetheless, it's a map 1 win.
Definitely a great first map for Q9, but almost a little bit too close to be comfortable just yet for them. Pacific, they've shown that they have the ability to claw back here, and if they had a better start in their first half, this could be a completely different situation for them right now. Q9 still able to close that one out though, and they will secure themselves with a first map win here.
Only just from 7-2 to 9-3 or 4, I think it was 9-4, and then Pacific managed to bring it all the way back, so that was very nearly a loss for Q9. That one would have been devastating if they had let that map slip into OT and then potentially even lost it there, but they do manage to just about regain control of it with a 2 versus 4 in the end coming out, a 3 versus 4 in fact, that they managed to grab the win on. So again, it was a different Q9 from the first half, which again was a different Q9 that we saw from yesterday, but they still got the win.
Yeah, and overall it felt like
3. We now look to Black Widow, and if it's going to be a victory in 3 maps for either of these teams, Port.
Yeah, and I definitely see Port potentially on the table. Black Widow, a map where Q9 has had struggles against anyone who isn't afraid to be aggressive. We did see them barely able to take out Boss, but they were a fairly passive team, so I think if Pacific wants to win this, they have to show us what they did in that second half of Ankara, which is that fearless play that we've come to love out of them.
But looks like we're moving very quickly into our second map here. Minimum delay, which is the way we like to see it, just straight back into the action. The less you have to hear us speculate, the better, because the players can decide the outcomes of these games much better than we can think about them. So let's see here. Will it be the 2-0 for Q9 on Black Widow? It needs to be a bit of a resurgence of form for them on that map, but we've certainly seen a resurgence of form for them today. So let's see if they can do it here. Black Widow and then Port requires the reverse sweep for Pacific. 1-1 for Q9. Let's see which way this one's going to go as we do start off here. Not quite, actually. Nilly. But not quite yet.
So we are going to have a quick pause here while they get things sorted out, but looking at the sides, it is going to be Pacific on that blacklist side, which honestly, from what we've seen in the past, should be a nice advantage for them. If they can get at least 5 or 6 rounds here, we've seen what they can do on a global risk half, and those global risk dominant teams have seemed to do a bit better on Black Widow than most others.
Certainly the case, so this way, which way this map, or how this map's going to play out, I guess. The one exception really to that has been when Carbon have played this map, because their global risk sides on every map have been incredibly dominant. Some of the strongest at the event, and we were looking at this before, we don't think they've lost a single global risk side out of all of the maps that they've played, have they?
No, they haven't, but to be fair, that could change. They do have AG as their semifinal up next. Obviously, going to be very hard to take them down in a best of 3, even though AG, they had a shaky performance to close out the group stage. I mean, they started 3-0, but they still finished 3-2, making them seem very beatable to close it out.
Certainly so. It's going to be an interesting one, that second semi, but for now we need to return our attention to this one. Like we said, Q9 have looked, well, it's been interesting. In the first half, they looked completely different to the way they have done over the groups. And in the second half, they almost look quite similar to how they have over the groups, letting as many rounds as they did slip, but they still managed to come through and grab the win, and they do look better in the aim department, I think.
Definitely, and I think Solo was a key factor there on their global risk half. He stepped it up, and he had such a phenomenal first half. It was just hard for anyone on Pacific to keep up with him, and he was just the one making it a difficult situation for Pacific. However, I think Pacific just looked uncomfortable on Ankara, and I don't expect that from them going into a map like Black Widow.
Certainly not, and then following up with a map like Port, we said at the start of this, once we saw the maps and before we got into map number 1, that we thought if any map was going to go to Q9 that it would be Ankara, that the reverse sweep would be very doable here for Pacific. So we'll see if that is indeed going to be the case. As judging by the yelling, I'm assuming that we are just about ready to jump back into Black Widow, and indeed we are.
Now Pacific, this is their chance to fight here. Map number 2, looking to take this into a map number 3. They're going to be 1-0 down in the overall series score, but Pacific, they do have a chance to start it off right here, and it looks like they're going to be going for an early A-long presence. Not going to be challenged, though, by Q9. They've definitely adjusted to play a bit more passive here, though they do have players, a couple pushed out for early B control. They're going to go ahead and leave Zemo there in that position and wait to see where Pacific decides to move here.
Bean goes for a quick info pick down A-long. Can't find the frag, but does spot out one player. There is 2 more hanging around there, though, and the C4 can rotate over that way, but Bean is going to find that first frag, opening up with that A-long pick. That's what they were looking for. They do still have this aggressive position from Zemo on the other side of the map that will give them info if Pacific decide to rotate on over. And that does give a lot of freedom for the rest of their players to just focus on A short and long. Bit of presence in towards mid as well. So it's a great setup here from Q9, but RGXM is going to find that first kill. Bean's going to fall. That's the sniper rifle down. And now ZZXQ jumping out into Cat with a teammate is looking to get the trades happening here. Zemo might just be caught out, but instead does grab the frag. Yaze gets revenge as well, and this is looking a lot better for Q9 now. It was dangerous, but they've brought that back, brought this back into a much better situation for them.
Now we're going to see Pacific having to commit their last 2 players here over towards the A-bomb site. 2 players, though, going to challenge RGXM from Cat. He finds one, almost there to find a double, but just not quite able to hit those shots. Now down to 15 HP. Not likely he should survive here. Aldrin going to be playing the role of support here, but it's just going to be RGXM falling, and Aldrin leaving himself in a 1v3.
Very difficult clutch for him. Does have an opportunity though. Finds out the one player. It's one of the high HP players down as well. Solo. A dangerous game there on that pig. Aldrin still full HP here. Does have 2 tag players to go against, so it's a doable 1 versus 3 for him. And this would be a heck of a statement to make to Q9 to show them that Pacific are not going to lie down and take this one without a fight. Got to check the right angle and won't go for it. Zemo does grab that final frag, and that's an excellent starting round from Q9. The positioning was very confident, gave them the info to make the plays, and despite potentially what could have been a near clutch in the end, they do still manage to hang on to it. And if that's the way they're going to be playing this half and Pacific don't get aggressive enough to stop them, then this might be a bit of a rough attacking half.
Definitely a very passive Pacific right now. And it looks like we have another disconnection, though. So we are going to take another pause while they get that resolved. But it is going to be Q9 with a 1-0 lead to start this off. And on their global risk half, that's exactly what they need to potentially try and close this series out in a 2-0 sweep for themselves. But Pacific, you can tell just by seeing their faces here during the pause, they're just not the confident team we saw in the group stage. But it definitely makes me wonder why. I mean, they don't have any reason going into this match to doubt themselves.
Certainly not. Well, Q9 are the only team that got a win against them. That shouldn't be a massive detriment to them mentally. Like, sure, you only lost 1 map and it was to Q9, but you beat everyone else. So it shouldn't really be that much of a confidence issue for them. This is a very timid-looking Pacific. Hopefully they'll be able to fire back and get back into this one in hopes of extending this series out. Otherwise, it'll be Q9 with a bit of a sweep here, going 2-3 in the groups, looking not at all how we expected them to. But if they can get straight into the finals here with a dominant series, then all bets are off. Q9 are back.
It looks like we may just be ready to get back into it. I heard the yell out from Q9, so we are indeed back right into the action. 1-0 Q9 going to be leading this one. Now Pacific, they're going to be looking for their chance to tie this one up right from the start. It's definitely a situation where they don't want Q9 to run away with an early lead, as we did see work severely against them in that first map. If they can keep this one close, when the pressure gets on Q9, they're a team that we've seen notoriously slip here, so Pacific, they just have to make sure this first half doesn't go too far away from themselves. Right now, though, we do see Solo already pushed up the catwalk here all the way towards the back of mid, but again, Pacific not being too eager for aggression in the start of the round here.
But it's a very aggressive setup from Q9. They have all the info here. They've got complete presence in mid, as you can see there on the map overview. They've also got a player out through B. The only person actually sitting on a bomb site now is Bean with that sniper locking down A long. So Pacific, they're going to have, I think, some earlier engagements than perhaps they're ready for here. It's going to be a quick rotate from Q9 given their current setup as well. Very easy position for them to move around. And the first base is going to be Zemo. Can't get anything done. And already Q9 being ripped apart. That aggression will not be so great for them. At least 1 kill is retrieved, but it's a 4 versus 2.
And now this should be a very winnable round here for Pacific. Solo down to just under 5 HP here. Bean really the only one who can make a large impact, but Solo does find one there onto Aldrin, but Bean, he's going to have to do something big here to make this opening, but Revenge, he's going to go for the lurk. He misses the shots, though, onto Bean. A crucial mistake. Now it's a 2v2. Q9 still with the opportunity to take this one away from a round that surely shouldn't have been theirs to win. RGXM and ZDD, though, still trying to stall this. Just 20 seconds left on the clock. Bean finds himself another one.
Oh,
this could be it. Solo gets the flank on an unfortunate round for Pacific to fall in, but Q9 doing what they need to in these clutch situations once again.
That was done as soon as Bean got that kill there. Solo was never going to check his flank in a situation where he's lost his sight partner and there's less than 15 seconds left on the bomb. In that situation, you just have to look at the bomb, try and play the time and hope that you're not being flanked, and unfortunately, Solo was there and ready for it. So Q9, they grab their second, and Pacific, again, they look nothing like the team we saw yesterday.
They're being very hesitant on their blacklist side, and we saw this be an issue for them on Ankara as well. They need to play fearlessly as they do on maps like Port, on maps like Mexico, where they're not afraid to push, but I almost think it's the team holding them back here. They're afraid to commit against Q9, and unfortunately, if you do that, you give them room to control the map. But this time around, we do see a change of pace. They're going for a double AUM setup, both ZYK and Revenge sniping here, and as you see there, ZYK does pick up the initial pick onto Bean. A huge way to get this round started for Pacific.
Certainly is. And now got a bit of presence established over towards A long with that pick as well. ZYK, in fact, is going to swap off that AUM back to an AK as well. I think it was Revenge who had both weapons ready to go and did swap that one out with him, but now the push going to come in here. Zemo narrowly avoids a shot, but needs to have a big round here. ZZXY is going to find that first. Q9, he needs to hold this one off, and the players do go 1-for-1. The trades come through. It's into a 2 versus 3, but Solo is so incredibly low. 2 HP and there's nothing he can do. Now all down to Yaze, 1 versus 3. Tries to go inside the bomb planter and will not be able to find that kill. The pistol comes out. And that's a very important round for Pacific. Coming back in and answering back early onto Q9.
And that right there shows the value of that Colt as well. If that was Desert Eagle, the draw wouldn't have been fast enough there for that reaction shot to come through. So smart decision to pick that Colt. And now it is going to be the potential for a tie here from Pacific. They can make this a 2-2 game very early, and that's exactly what they need to do. If they can keep this first half close, we've seen what Pacific Macta can do on a global risk half. But to be fair, Black Widow, a map where generally you do need to take this Blacklist half in order to win. But right now, this is a good chance to bring it to a tie. But we do see Q9 playing very safe this time around. The only player too eager to peek is going to be Zemo, getting information here outside of B connector. He is so close to ZDD here. If his corner is checked, he could go down very quickly, but Zemo, his position hasn't been compromised just yet. He's hiding on the edge of that smoke, and ZDD, he's now in a very risky position, has to get this frag, finds one onto ZZXY, and that's exactly how they needed to start this one off.
So Pacific going to get themselves the first frag to the good, but Zemo swings out, grabs another quick headshot to bring it back into an even situation now. Q9 have been very good at converting these situations, whether it's a disadvantage, back into good ones for themselves. From a 5-4 into a 4-4, see what else they can do with it. But it is just been locking down this A site for the moment. Solo over in mid and 2 players around B. So while they can get 1 player rotated over to A, it looks like that is what they will be doing. Still going to be a lot of pressure on here, as all 4 players for Pacific are moving up A long now together. Revenge looking for this first frag. Going to be difficult, but Bean does grab one and gets away. Solo now getting involved as well. Zemo on the back of the side has not been checked. And it's Revenge 1 versus 4. Just like that, his entire team is 4 and the bomb is down in a terrible position. And he's got to try and find himself a miraculous clutch here. Q9 this time going for a bit of a passive play, waiting until Pacific push. And then with the info that they gave, they rotate early. And they make this one very, very difficult indeed. Revenge now hasn't found a single frag in the last few rounds, so he's got to try and find 3 of them, or even 4 of them here, but Zemo's going to go for the wide swing. We'll find the timing and the frag. And I think that right there, that is exactly why Pacific are intimidated. Every single round that Q9 win, they are immediately letting Pacific know that they've lost it. Straight away up in their faces.
Definitely a strong intimidation tactic here from Q9, but so far it's worked out wonders for them. But in that last round, especially Zemo being the key factor there, picked up 2 very crucial frags. And now we're going to see Pacific trying their luck over towards B. They're going to leave ZDD alone to try and catch the rotations in mid. The rest of the team going to be trying to force the issue here, but Revenge, he's already missed the opening pick here. Can't seem to win that sniper duel against Bean. He's 0-3 so far on the half as well, so things definitely not working too well for Revenge in this half. ZYK, he's the only one who's actually taken out Bean in a 1v1 sniper duel so far. ZDD going to be lit up in mid as well. And right now, Q9, they're definitely well positioned here to take another round.
Zemo going to need to have a good time here with his teammate backing him up. CFGI is waiting for this one as well. They're going to get the flash through as well to try and slow down RGXM. Pacific already thinking the better of it. Bean's going to grab another kill though. ZDD down here having a great time. And now a position in which I've seen Bean so many times so far this tournament. It's his favorite little spot to play right there. Just a crouch peek up through the window, watching into the box holes. It's a very, very strong spot for him. One where he's had a lot of success. He is 5-1, so he's had a lot of success in general here, but now a difficult clutch situation coming in for Pacific. Down 3-1 already, and down a map in the series. They've got to try and bring back a 3 versus 5. Or RGXM cannot move into box holes here without, or the box room here without going down. With under a minute left on the clock, Q9 well in control of this round.
Right now, this round's really going to fall onto ZYK's position. He has the ability to clear this A bomb site by himself. Solo's the only one directly on site, but Bean catches Aldrin off guard in mid. That's already another pick going into the hands of Q9. This is a 2v5 now. Solo, if he holds on here, this should be the round, but ZYK, he's going to force the issue. He has an arm in his hands this time around, though, so he needs to be careful, but it's going to be Solo to take him out. RGXM falls in the water as well. And just like that, Q9 continue to push themselves in these global risk halves to look very, very nice compared to what we saw in the previous 2 days.
I have 2 questions for you, Kyle, and they're both very similar. One is where was this Q9 during the group stage? And two is where was this Pacific during the group stage? These teams have done essentially a big flip-flop. If I was looking at this, you took all the names off, I would not have guessed that the team currently on the attacking side went 4-1 in groups, and that the team on the defending side went 2-3. It's not at all what it looks like, but nonetheless, that's the way it is. Q9 certainly coming prepared to play here in the tournament stage when it so desperately matters in the playoffs. They've certainly showed up well. A lot of pressure on Devine here. He's already found that first frag. He's looking for more if it's going to be presented to him, but Q9, HP disadvantage here in the 4 versus 4.
Solo finds himself another revenge, able to secure his first kill of the half, finally taking one down. ZYK finds another. Now it does look like a winnable round here for Pacific Macta. ZZXQ and Zemo, though, still capable of clutching this one out if they play their cards right. However, A is in complete control of Pacific here. It is going to be ZZXQ already working his way slowly here for a potential pick. The bomb will get planted. ZYK going to go ahead and take it down here. They do have Revenge playing for the plant as well. He's going to be all the way out long A, and so far positioning looking decent here for Pacific on the post plant.
This would be a bit of a misplay if Pacific do let this one slip. These players on Q9 are incredibly sharp though. And there's the first 2 frags going their way. It seems that Q9 can do no wrong. It's just ZYK left already being tagged down, and the wallbang's going to come through. Q9 are looking flawless here. There is nothing that Pacific can do. No situation that they can convert. That's a 3 versus 2, and still it's pulled away from them.
And Pacific, this is going to be a tough road ahead for them now. They have to claw back in this first half. We've seen them so dominant on global risk halves, but if they can't get more than a single round in this first half, it could be just the beginning of the end for Pacific's life in the Invitational here. So we'll see what they can do here, but ZZXQ already finds the opening pick, and the bomb is down. Already a devastating way to start off this round.
I've seen a few teams make this mistake this tournament of having the bomb peek out first. Very easy mistake to make, but a crucial error that can give you a lot of trouble if your entry fragger has the bomb on his back for one reason or another. But Aldrin's going to find 2 kills. ZYK gets involved as well. And just like that, 2 versus 4. Surely Q9 can't bring this one back, but I'm not going to count them out of anything. Zemo gets 1, but gets traded. And now Yaze. 0 for 3. No frags this half, and that's going to continue. Pacific finally get another one on the board.
The scary thing is, though, we can't see Q9 get too overconfident because they had a 7-2 half in their first map and almost lost it. It was an 8-10 game, so if Pacific gets 3 rounds or even 4 at this point, this is still a very winnable game for themselves because they are a very strong global risk team. So honestly, they're not out of this one yet, especially if they can pull to 4 rounds here. And really, it's just going to be on Q9 to make sure they don't get too overzealous and start making those mistakes, as we've seen teams in the past who get a little too cocky start to make.
And Q9 is certainly a team that do seem to get cocky when they get into winning ways, as we've seen from all of their reactions to winning these rounds, all of the ways in which they get up here on their feet. And ZZXQ can't quite secure the trade now. Into a 3 versus 4. Q9 once again in a man disadvantage situation, but they've been very good at trading these ones back into a more manageable deal for themselves. Really the only question mark here for me is Yaze, who still hasn't found a frag yet. Solo's looking for one, and he's been good so far this series. ZDD, though, somehow finds the spray kill onto both players on short. And now it's all onto Bean. Does grab that first one, but into the 1 versus 3 now. Tough situation for him to be in.
Here comes the challenge, though. ZYK spots him in the A window. Bean going to go for the wide peak. Can't seem to hit the shots, though. He's going to be completely obliterated by ZYK's first shot. And now it's nothing but the Colt to try and hold it. But ZYK, what was he doing there? Getting a little bit too antsy on this one. You don't want to do that when you're already down 5-2. No risk of a clutch here. Bean still very low on HP, but Pacific, they're getting way too aggressive here. Oh my goodness! Bean, he gets the clutch. Why did they peek him 1 by 1? And as you can see, a huge mistake made from Pacific there. They all went for the solo peaks, but Bean, what a 1v4.
If you're going to peek a sniper, you do it at the same time or not at all. You can't give him those 1v1 shots or situations, especially when Bean missed about 18 shots there going for no scopes and quick scopes with ZYK jumping around in a pistol and then hits everything when they all jump through. That is a massive misplay from Pacific. And that's going to be very hard to come back from mentally. That's a massive tilter of a round to lose, but RGXM at least comes back with a nice quick headshot on the ZZXY. There's Bean, though, continuing to put up numbers. He's now 12-3 this half. Yaze still not with a kill on the board, but does it matter when your sniper is this dominant? Perhaps not.
Bean, definitely the huge threat here, but Pacific They kind of dug themselves into that one in the previous round, just getting too antsy, and that's exactly what you cannot afford to do here when you're already down by such a big deficit. So Pacific, this is do or die for them. They desperately need this final round here. A third round does still give them a chance to take this away in their second half, but still, it's already going to be a tough road ahead for them, but still a winnable round here. Yaze, Bean, and Solo left alive, but Yaze going to be playing that window position, rightfully so, though he knows the mistakes that have been made from that position in the past now. He's going to start to try and abuse that, but Solo finds the pick onto Aldrin, still 3v3. Q9 still in a position to potentially take this one 7-2.
Bean with a casual ADR of nearly 140, that's pretty ridiculous. So 3 versus 3 now, 30 seconds left on that bomb. ZYK is again playing a very dangerous game in this window. I would be scared of this though as him. He knows how it's gone in previous rounds, but it's going to be Yaze once again going down, this time finishing the half without a frag. Bean does get one though, back into that 2 versus 2. Swaps out to the AK. Solo gets involved now, and Pacific can't win anything, it seems. It's all up to RGXM. He swings out and does find that 1 kill. Now Solo looking for the trade. The grenade in his hand, throws it out. Looking to bait RGXM into a peek. The spray is out and it's through. Solo's going to grab it. It's 7-2 once again. No, is it? The defuse. No.
Oh.
Not going to come through. Pacific Macta are going to grab it. 3 and 6. Just enough time is wasted.
I thought for sure he was going to have it there. We've seen defuses that looked like they were more down to the wire than that went the way of the diffuser, but luckily for Pacific, that defuse isn't going to go through. 6-3, now making it a slightly more winnable situation. They were able to take it 8-10 when they had only 2 rounds, so I definitely think this is still one where they could do it, but they have to get this Q9 mentality out of their head. They've almost put a mental block against themselves in this matchup, and Q9, they're abusing that. They get intimidating every time they win around, and you can see the look on Pacific's faces. They're just lacking the confidence here.
They do end up losing here on Black Widow and going out 0-2. I think that Bean 4v1 is going to haunt them for quite some time. They all jump through and peek him in the same way. Everyone thinking, all right, he's killed my teammate. He won't kill me. He's killed 2 of us. He's killed 3 of us, and then he lands all 4. Sure, it's a 1 in 100 play, 1 in a million play perhaps, but they hand it to Bean on a platter, and he's more than happy to take those. So that last round, even then, that one I feel should have been Q9's. It's a matter of less than half a second where they can't quite grab it. Pacific was still outplayed in the 3 versus 3. They just managed to waste enough time, so I feel like that's still a round that Q9 had pretty much won, apart from the time. So see if now the global risk side can be better for Pacific. Committing 3 players at long. We've seen this from a lot of teams so far this tournament. 3 players commit at long through the early utility and to establish 1 player around the bottom of A long, which is RGXM in this case. Let's have Aldrin close by, playing an anti-flash angle as well. For Q9 though, all 5 players moving into B. There's only 1 player there at the moment. Revenge has not yet rotated.
Definitely a bit of a misplay. If you have that A-long control, you need to have at least 2 players in towards this B funnel, and now they realize the mistake they've made. They're going to start rotating into B, but they have to do this quickly. ZDD, he's alone. All he needs to do is stall here, and that's exactly what he's done. They don't know his position just yet, but it's not going to matter. ZZXQ's already found 1 entry. Solo finds the other. This is not looking good for Pacific. Already down to a 3-on-5. Revenge rotates in, but it's still going to be Aldrin getting caught from the double doors there. It's a 2-on-5. Now RGXM and Revenge, they're not going to be able to hold up here. RGXM, he's caught under Cat, and Q9 looking unstoppable here to start off our second half.
Dear me. I think it is a bit of this Q9 mental block that we're seeing for Pacific, but just basic positional errors, unfortunately. When you do have full A-long control like that, you don't need to have 4 players towards the A side of the map. If you do want to have 1 on B, at least have 2 in mid so you can have 1 guy mid and 1 quick rotate. Whatever you want to do, you can't give up the B site like that. Admittedly, it's Q9 hitting some nice shots, and this time Pacific will start off the right way with ZYK going an Orm frag. But Revenge is going to go down to Zemo, back into the 4 versus 4, and Q9 just 3 away. It feels inevitable at this point.
Definitely a tough road ahead. We've seen them almost make it happen, though, in the previous map, and now they do have an extra round to start off the half, so it's still winnable here, down to a 4-on-4, but Pacific, they definitely need this round to get that momentum started for them on the second half very quickly. Bean going to be caught there, but ZYK, he misses the shot, and Bean, he's able to turn around, react, and take him down.
A sitter.
And this is where Pacific continue to look shaky as well. Already a 3-on-4, and ZDD is sitting alone on B with half HP.
That one was a sitter of a shot. For those who don't understand the Australianism, I'll explain that after this round. Remind me to do that. But in the meantime, it's a 3 versus 4. Pacific They need to start winning some of these situations. Q9 have won pretty much every single round where they've wound up or started off a man down. And if they haven't, they've made them incredibly close. So for Pacific, it's now time to do a bit of that for themselves. Come back into this one. If they can get anything done. They are very spread out though. One player on B, one player looking down mid. And still RGXM towards A long. This is a situation that's going to give them, a setup I should say, it's going to give them virtually no info until the push starts, and there it is. ZDD goes down. The remaining two players have to rotate here. 4 versus 2, advantage Q9.
This should be another round for them to take away RGXM and Aldrin. They need a huge clutch to prevent this from getting too far from reach. Aldrin does spot Solo on the cross there, but still unable to do any damage really to him from that position. RGXM, though, he's going to run into trouble. Bean going to be watching this flank. He actually drops down at probably the worst moment he could. RGXM, he's able to sneak up close. Bean, he's going to be taken down. It's a 2v3, and Yaze is very low. Aldrin, though, has to make something happen from this position quickly. Finds himself Yaze, and Zemo, he gets lit down to 44 HP. Pacific now able to take this 2v4. Aldrin finds another. It's all on Zemo in a 1v2. 20 seconds left. They've got to find this frag quickly. Zemo just on 3 HP. They may have just done it here. They still have to get this defuse. Zemo, all he has to do is stall the diffuser, and he could still win this round. RGXM, though, he's going to hold it. Aldrin gets the kill, and that's a big 2v4 for Pacific Macta.
It's a massive round for them to convert. Just because I said I was going to do it. If you don't know the term sitter, term from Australian cricket whereby the ball was hit essentially into your chest pocket. You don't even have to move for it to come your way. In the context of shooters, it means it pretty much didn't even have to move your crosshair to get the kill. Still, it wasn't able to be found there by the Orm of ZYK, but nonetheless, Pacific do grab that round, and that's an important one for them, going onto that double Orm setup once again to try and open up these rounds. But Bean is looking for a pick, and still Q9 have a 3-round lead here.
Pacific, though, this is their chance. If they can build the momentum now, they could actually take this one with a very confident second half. We've seen them on Ankara come back from an even worse deficit, so this is still a winnable situation for them if they can continue forward strong here and now. They've got to step it up, though. Right now, Q9 going to be hunting for these entry frags, though. Yaze starting to scout out this B bomb site. Meanwhile, we do see both Solo and Bean starting to work up towards A from Catwalk here. We've got Zemo. He's actually going to be behind them as well for support. So things so far looking pretty solid here for Q9 to have a chance to sort of ease their way into this A bomb site. They've only got Aldrin watching the cross here from A ramp. As well, they do have RGXM pushed up in this A long position, but if they can isolate these players in 1v1s, there's a pretty strong chance they could actually go for this A hit here.
Certainly could be successful. We'll see if they're able to convert it, but we're just 1 minute and 5 seconds on the clock. Can't waste too much more time here before they start to move. Already they are shifting their positions, grouping up. Actually sending 3 players over towards B with the bomb on short, so potentially a bit of a fake going to be thrown by Bean and Zemo here. Maybe get a little bit of utility in to try and make a bit of noise, but not the case. It's just going to be Bean looking for a pick. Maybe trying to lock down that flank as that A hit comes in. I assume it is what he'll be doing here. He's waiting around, but the push will be towards A. Bean has found that flank as well. ZDD pushes out before the A hit even starts and goes down. CZHY finds one as well. Aldrin grabs one, but the B site is the port of call. An excellent mid-round adjustment from Q9 to go back through mid. Great call from them. Be able to get this bomb down now for free, no contention. And in what is a 3 versus 3 as ZYK grabs a Orm kill. Bomb has to be recovered from down in the open, but Yaze's going to grab it and put it down with plenty of time to spare. Retake coming fast from Pacific.
Right now, ZYK, he's in such an important position. He can't afford to give himself up just yet. They need Aldrin to put the pressure on from this flank. He can still take down Bean again, and we've seen him do it a couple times here on this wide flank. Aldrin going to need that support soon, but RGXM finds the opener, but Aldrin, he goes down, so RGXM and ZYK, they've got to hold on here, but they've shoved them off of the B bomb site. This is still a chance to potentially go in and win this round. RGXM finds one. Can he get the double kill? It's not going to happen. Bean shuts things down, and Q9, they still hang on to grab the round.
They get the Q9 players all the way off the bomb site, even out of the box room, but then keep pushing for the kills. It's a hard situation to be in. Of course, with hindsight, it is possible they could have gone back and jumped on that defuse to force Q9 to push into an uncomfortable position, but they try to grab the frags instead. Perfectly valid option. And the aim duel just doesn't go their way, which has been a running theme. Can't really fault Pacific for the decisions they've been making. Most of the time, it's been relatively tactically sound. It's just they're getting out-aimed by Q9 in a lot of these engagements.
And unfortunately, again, with 2 rounds left to be won, the Pacific third place curse could strike yet again here. Unfortunately for them, they've always had such strong appearances, but they can never seem to make it into a grand finals. And unfortunately, Q9 may be able to put to the stop just now and take it away from them again. 8-4, potentially 10-4 if they close this one out. Still Pacific, they could take this one into overtime, or if they play perfectly, they could actually take it in regulation. Not very likely, though, at this point, considering Q9. The intimidation factor has just been so real that Pacific, they don't have a response for it, even on their more comfortable side here.
Exactly that. I mean, if Pacific played perfectly, if we had the Pacific from the group stages coming out, then sure, absolutely. I believe in that 10-8 clutch for them. But so far in this semi, they've looked nothing like perfect, unfortunately, for them. They've certainly had some good moments, some good rounds, some good frags, but they just haven't been able to get the wins where it counts. Now with under a minute left, Q9 going to shift over towards that A bomb site. Moving up through short, ZYK will be ready here with the AWM, waiting for the first base, but they B-hop out past him and do take him down. It's Zemo on the entry, looking for one more. Aldrin trades back. That's the bomb down. ZZXQ coming out long as well, trying to grab this frag in RGXM. Can't quite find it, but they bought enough space for the site to be open. The bomb to go down, but ZDD runs straight in, finds one. Bean can't quite trade it. Still 35 seconds left, enough time, and Bean is going to grab it, but he's left all alone now. And it will be the win coming through for Pacific. Once again, it's an incredibly near thing, but they do manage to win the trades for the first time. They come away from it in a good position as the take comes in.
And right now we do see Pacific again with a 3-round spread here. Still time to recover this one and potentially take it into overtime, or maybe even win this one with 5 straight rounds of perfection. But still, Q9, a team we've seen able to shut that down so far. But again, when they get overconfident, they've made some misplays here on their blacklist halves, so it's not to say it can't be done, but Pacific, they're going to have to play near perfect in this one. Revenge, though, misses the opening shot towards B. That's not something you want to do here, but ZDD, he's here to recover it, takes down Bean on the cross. That's going to be traded out immediately by Zemo. 4-on-4, Revenge already taking a little bit of damage, finds the shot onto Zemo, though, peeking a little bit too eagerly onto that window position. Yaze gets the bomb down, but it is going to be a 4v3 retake here for Pacific.
And in fact, not even that. He goes for the fake bomb plant instead, trying to bait someone through. They know that in that previous round, they lost to essentially someone charging the bomb planter as soon as they heard that beep. So Yaze fakes the bomb plant, trying to get someone from Pacific to get nervous and overcommit. But in the 4 versus 3, this time Pacific, they are being careful. They're going to wait until they can confirm that that bomb has hit the floor. And Q9 have left Yaze essentially on his own here. They're both back holding for the flank, playing for the post plant setup already. So it's onto Yaze here to maybe grab a frag. It's definitely his job to get the bomb down. And then hopefully for him, his teammates will be able to back him up or even just play the trades. But this time the bomb plant is going to be stuck. The player coming through window from behind Yaze as well. But he's going to look for that first engagement aggressively. There is still this flank coming through from the B halls, but not there just yet. That said, though, RGXM will get in and get one now. The 2 versus 4, Solo and Yaze need to convert this one. And Revenge going to grab a frag. It's all down to Solo. That defuse is already being stuck. Solo is coming in, but it's going to be too late. The smoke gets sprayed down and Pacific grab another one.
And now we see finally a bit of confidence there from Pacific. This is honestly the best they've looked so far in this matchup, and now the potential is there to still close this in regulation in their favor, or at the very least, take it into an overtime situation where they can maybe feel a bit more comfortable to try and bring this one back. Pacific going to gain that early A-long control, once again sending RGXM on the cross here, but this time they leave ZYK close for the potential early fight. Meanwhile, they are going to play smarter towards B as well, not leaving ZDD all alone in that position. They're going to be playing Aldrin, or sorry, it is going to be Revenge there from the double doors as Aldrin rotates here back onto the A-bomb site. So they've definitely adjusted properly here, but still Q9, they're going to force the issue again towards B, and they've been losing on the retakes here. Their executions have actually been pretty solid. ZDD hasn't been able to hold on to it too much so far.
So now getting ready for this B hit. Revenge is going to find that first pick here with the Orm from a position that Bean loves to play. And ZDD forcing the issue, goes straight in, finds a headshot. This is a much better looking Pacific. This is the team that we saw them being yesterday, but Bean going to win the fight against Revenge on that peak. Back into now the 3 versus 4. ZZXQ gets caught going out through mid. This is looking a lot better for Pacific. They've still got to be careful. They've lost a lot of these late round man advantage situations. So far, they've done all right in this round at least. So they win this 8-7. One more, we're tied up. Q9 have stalled on their attacking side.
You can see Zemo falling off here with the bomb as well. Bean might be just trying to stall with a fake here and see if this bomb can get planted towards A, because he can still rotate very quickly through mid to go up catwalk once that bomb's planted. And as long as the bomb's planted for his position, this could still actually work. Zemo going to be scouting his way through mid, but he needs to be careful. ZYK often checking this cross position, but he's still going to be playing this very carefully, waiting to see if he can catch one of these players towards B off guard. But ZDD, he's going to be playing this one smart. He's playing it safe, not challenging wide just yet, just going to be playing right outside the box room. They know Bean has that sniper in his hands the majority of the time, so they don't want to give him a chance to create an opening. But RGXM, if he peeks this, he's going to catch Zemo off guard. But ZYK almost gets caught. He gets the flick. What a shot there from Zemo. He can open this up completely for Q9. ZYK very low in mid as well. There's only 16 seconds to plant, though, and I don't see this happening unless he just runs up Cat. He's going to go ahead and go for it anyways, though. Aldrin finds Bean, but still Zemo has time to plant. If he forces it immediately, he's going to have a chance to position himself as well. This is still a winnable round here, but he has to do something big, but they stall the plant. ZYK finds him just in time. A nice attempt there from Q9, but again, Pacific trying to fight their way back into it. Now it's only a one-round difference.
This is the second time we've seen this setup or this situation for Q9 up by a substantial way in the first half. It could have been another 7-2 for them if they hadn't missed that defuse by less than half a second there, but 6-3 this time. They get up to 8. Now they look like staying on 8. This time it's Bean to wrap at mid. He's missing the shot. Aldrin grabs 2 revenge with 1 as well. And Pacific, it's late, but they're finally coming back into this matchup. Zemo wraps in and grabs 1 frag, and the second does manage to control it. He's left very, very low, but that will expose this B bomb site. ZZXY can't quite find one. He's about to get double picked, and he will go down. The pistols come out, but Zemo already on a 3 frag in this round, looking to grab the entire ace for himself, but he can't do it. And ZYK again, he was a superstar for this team yesterday, and he's getting involved now. 8-8. Might just be happening here for Pacific. They might be able to get the massive comeback and get over Q9 here, but we saw this last map, and Q9 were able to close it out.
And the scary thing for Q9 is they've got to be knowing in the back of their minds Port is the next map if Pacific somehow pull this off, and that's not a map where I could see Pacific losing very easily. So Pacific, if they can somehow make this map theirs, they're going to stand a very good chance to reverse sweep this series, as Port would be map number 3 here. But Q9, it's not over for them just yet on Black Widow. They still have 2 more opportunities to take this one in regulation, and right now they're going to have to be even more cautious. They got picked apart last round. 3 early picks went to Pacific, but now they're going to be sending Bean alone to scout here on the catwalk to see if he can potentially find one over towards A. But Pacific, they've set up really nicely to avoid Bean's early round potential here. They have no one directly peeking Cat and nobody directly challenging A long as well. They're forcing these close corners here, so Bean can't just sit there and try and pick them apart one by one. And even this round, they're not even going to have Revenge playing in the B window. He's going to be on a more forward position here towards B to try and stall the push. He finds the leg of ZZHY as well, though. Great way to start it off here.
Excellent start on Q9. They've done so much damage in the man disadvantage situations, in the 2 versus 4s, 3 versus 4s, situations like that. If they can start off with the first pick and not have to, well, it's not happening, but if they could get that first pick here and not have to deal with this situation every single round, then they'd be in a much better spot. But Bean's going to lose a crucial fight. ZZHY still tagged down, and as a minute ticks by on the clock, Q9, they're playing the slow game, going for the late round push, and it's not been working for them.
Right now, Revenge going to rotate in towards the back of mid so he can support from B window if this push does come in, which it's looking like a very likely scenario here. It's going to be ZDD again trying to have to hold this off, and he's giving away his position constantly, but it's to bait in for Revenge here. But Revenge, he's got to get at least one. Finds the opener. Zemo goes down. ZZHY able to trade that one out. Yaze finds ZDD. This is still a winnable round for Q9 now. The site now, it's going to be completely exposed. ZYK taking heavy damage, but it's RGXM again trying to work this flank. But Aldrin, he's already found one. He finds the double kill. It's ZZHY now alone. Very low HP, 20 to his name, left in this 1v3. All Pacific needs is to peek together, which they will. They close the round, and just like that, what looked like a game that Q9 could surely close out, they find themselves in the potential loss of 10-8 in regulation here.
And they're just playing too slowly, I think, here, Q9. They're not really taking the map control, and they take a long time to move, but this time they decided to go fast to try and force this overtime. They commit out through long, through the utility, but the frags are coming in. It's a 2-4-2. They're looking for this next one into ZYK as well. Going to go very fast and will grab that. Oh, no, not quite. I lied. I got deceived by the kill feed, but still, 3 versus 3. The faster adjustment from Q9. I think it's what will potentially, it certainly worked out better than their previous rounds have. Might just be able to get some over the top here as well, but still got to close out 3 more kills. The one advantage they have is that Pacific now either has to gamble on a stack or they have to split up. ZYK, though, has gotten quite aggressive at long. Might keep going, but ZZXY is waiting for just this. No, he's not. Actually, they don't look at it. They've got to get this trade. They do. Both players for Pacific were on that B-bomb side. Now they have to split up in the 2 versus 2. Surely Q9 can find the win here. They've just got to get a 2v1 on one of these bomb sites and then hold off that defuse, but Pacific are refusing to give in. They're getting aggressive. Revenge finding himself. Some bit of info up through mid and does have a teammate walking through B as well. This is the play that Pacific are making, trying to close the entire game. And ZDD's done it now. It's down to just the 1v1. ZZHY up against ZDD. Grenade not going to find that frag just yet. And the attacking and defending sides have effectively switched positions here. But ZZHY, with that peak, will find out exactly where ZDD is playing from. And he'll be able to move up onto A and get that bomb down. ZDD going to have a heroic 1v1 here to retake. It's possible. Time is a-wasting as he rotates, and the position is being taken. ZZXY, he looks the wrong way, and ZDD's found it. Pacific fight back. They managed to clutch out map 2.
What an incredible performance, Pacific. They looked like they were surely down and out of this one. They had a 7-2 for Q9 here, but they still couldn't close it out. And this is where Q9 has to be scared on this one. They fall 10-8, and now it's going to Port as the deciding map here. Everything starting to slowly but surely come together for Pacific Macta, but it's not over yet. Port, still a map where either team could win, but Pacific, we've seen a very strong presence on that map from them.
A late presence, sure. It did take them a long time to actually get rolling there in that second half, but they do get it done. And they do manage to take it 10-8. They let Q9 get up to that 8 rounds from 6-3 up to 8-3 or 4 it was, but then Pacific finally got to move on. We finally saw the Pacific that we saw during the group stage over the last couple of days, and they did manage to close it out. And now they're in the situation where they could go for the reverse sweep here. This is how we thought it would happen. If Q9 were going to win any map, we did give them Ankara. They had Black Widow and couldn't close it out. Now heading into Port, I think Q9 had to be very, very scared here, as this has been an excellent map so far for their opponents in Pacific.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Q9, that was their chance to close. They had the opportunity for a beautiful 2-0 sweep. After a 7-2 half, they even got up to 8 rounds very early on there, but they just couldn't grab those final 2.
Was indeed, but I mean, we've really just seen an incredibly different Q9 and at the start of this Pacific than what we saw in the group stages, so all bets are off, I think, at this point in terms of being able to predict how these two teams play, because it's just been so different to what we spent 2 days watching or a day and a half watching, so it's a bit tough to call. I think just based on the map, this one may well now go the way of Pacific. You and I were talking before this series started, and we said that really the two most realistic win options were 2-0 for Q9 or 2-1 with the reverse sweep coming in for Pacific. Anchor being the map that it hinged on. So I think it's going to be perhaps pretty tough here for the Chinese side to come back into this, but they've already looked a lot better today than they have in, well, that's not true. They looked a lot better in the last map than they did earlier, and they've looked a bit better, I guess, on the whole than they did in the group stages, so we'll see. It's hard to predict at this point.
Yeah, honestly, just looking at the performance throughout this entire best of 3 so far, the most underwhelming presence across the board has actually been Yaze. I've noticed every position he's in, that seems to be Q9's weak point, and especially on their attacking sides, he definitely starts to fall first on this lineup, but overall they've had weak attacking sides, and that's where they really need to turn things around. But Port, honestly, a map that's going to be really hard to do on, considering how strong the global risk side of Pacific is. If they get that side as their first here, I can't see Pacific losing this one.
And speaking of Yaze again, I'm pretty sure the first half of Black Widow, we did have that reset here in there, so I saw him finish at 0-6. I'm not sure if he got any frags in the first 3 rounds, but it can't have been many. So in a half when they're up 6-3, he's getting probably less than 5 frags. Meanwhile, his teammates are going completely insane and doing a lot of work, but still questions to be asked of Yaze, I think.
Definitely, but Pacific as well, they've had issues throughout having a strong start against this team of Q9, and especially if they start on global risk, they can't afford to have those mistakes happen. If they start off slow on global risk, it could be a match for Q9 to still win, because if that's the slow start they have, I don't think they can come back like that on a blacklist side.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult, so I think it's just going to depend on which way these sides do hash out once we jump into this game and see who ends up where. But the red lights mean that we're very close to getting underway. Just 6H setup. I do like it, but there's the head-to-head shot. Let's have a look at the composure here. Both teams actually look pretty ready to get this one going. Pacific certainly look a lot more confident than we've seen them on camera so far today. They looked a bit lost up until getting that map win, but now they've tied it back up 1 apiece. We're essentially back to a best of 1. We're back in the group stages. This situation, admittedly, Q9 won it in groups, but I think it's anyone's guess who's going to take it here. But our first map, or our final map for our first grand finalist here, it's going to be one of these two teams, Pacific or Q9. Just Port here to decide it to get underway.
Pacific will be on the blacklist side as well to start it off. This time they can't afford to have a 6-3 or a 2-7 half. This is the half that they need to come out guns blazing and ready to go here. Q9, though, it's still do or die for them. This one map will decide who our first finalist is. Bean, though, gets the opener. ZDD already down, and that's a great start here for Q9 to get things kicked off. But ZYK, he trades it right back, and that's exactly what was missing in this first couple maps from Pacific. They couldn't trade it out, but this time Solo, he's right there, back into the action, finds himself the trade frag there. ZYK goes down, and it's still a 4-on-3 to start this one off.
It's worth noting as well that so far in this tournament, Pacific Macta and Q9 have played each other 3 times, or on 3 different maps, or 3 maps. All 3 maps have been 10-8. All of them. It was sub-based during the groups. We've just seen the 10-8s coming through in the first 2 maps of this best of 3, but Zemo's grabbed another one. Q9 off to a good start here on their defensive side of Port. Revenge gets spotted and tagged a little bit there as well. So this round going to be a difficult one for Pacific to recover, especially with Zemo grabbing that frag. It's all on Revenge. Down around half HP. 60 as it turns out. He's in this 1 versus 4. A very difficult round for him. Certainly possible. We've seen Revenge hit some nice shots, but he's not been a particularly big player in the clutches here. It's very hard with the AWM to get involved in 1 versus 4s. Unless, of course, you're Bean when the whole team jumps through a small opening on you. But other than that, difficult proposition for him. And he's been wrapped on as well. Zemo grabs 3 frags in the opening round, and Q9 start off well.
Definitely a strong start. But to be fair, they've had every map be a strong global risk start for themselves. And as we saw on Black Widow, a 6-3 global risk half start wasn't enough. So if you're Q9, you should be looking at building up at least 7 or 8 rounds here if you want to close this out, because closing out maps has been nothing but a struggle for these guys. And I think if this is a close half Pacific, they still have a big advantage going into the second half here.
At this point, all of the questions, I think, are being asked of Q9 here. They need to have a dominant half. And even then, it might not be enough, because we've seen them almost lose a 7-2, lose a 6-3, which really should have been a 7-2. It was down to half a second on a defuse in the final round. And now they're going to need a very big defensive half once again. I think they'll certainly be gunning for 6 or 7 rounds here. They need a confident start, because Pacific are just so good at this map, especially when defending.
Pacific, though, they're going to be taking this one very slow, trying to put some pressure onto Q9 to potentially push out here, but Q9, they're not falling for it. They're going to be playing very, very safe in this situation. They know they have to win this map, and this would be the perfect time to see Q9 anchor down and keep their composure even when things start to get tough. Pacific, though, they're going to be going for a full execution here out of A Long, and Yaze, he's been the weak point for this team, but he has to be ready this time around. He's going to be caught alone. Bean now going to be playing from the bridge cross, but they still have full control over Yaze in this situation, and Revenge just going to be throwing shot after shot up there to put the pressure on him, but they're actually not going to force the push here. They're going to see if they wrap behind and catch them off guard here. This is a great play, but Zemo, he's ready for them to fight back. He finds the double kill, and they're just going to slide back into the B tunnels here and go back on that B bomb site. Great play from Zemo, though, and he's already sitting at 5 frags here.
It's an excellent mid-round adjustment there from Q9 to realize that they could get wrapped on, or that PM could be waiting for that flank to come through, but Zemo hits 2 nice headshots, and they manage to fall back off it as well. Advantage firmly with them. Solo spots out a player in mid too. There is another questing through into those B halls. It's Revenge coming through the warehouse now, trying to find a kill, but it's going to be very difficult for him to force an opening there with that arm. And he will be going down to ZZXQ. Solo grabs another as well, and it's all up to RGX, and nothing he can do. It's a flawless round for Q9 to start us off.
And this is an all too familiar situation for Pacific. Weak starts, as usual, on their blacklist side in this series, but they still have time to turn it around before it's too late here. It's only 2 rounds on the board for Q9, and as we've seen, even these early leads for Q9 don't seem to mean too much to Pacific's ability to fight back into it. So starting this one off, we're going to see a lot of utility use here over in the B tunnels, but no commitment from the peak just yet. But Pacific, they still seem pretty eager to force the issue down these tunnels.
In the meantime, putting a bit of pressure out through mid as well. ZZXQ alone. See if he can make a bit of space for his team, but as you say, it is a lot of presence over towards B from the attacking side of Pacific. Getting some spam through. That was actually almost, well, if there was team damage, that would have been a team kill, I think, but shows you that Pacific are a little bit antsy here. Firing at shadows.
Now ZZXQ potentially going to be put to the test here. Going to be playing on the headshot box here on the back of B, just waiting to see if they will indeed commit. The flash comes out, though. They're going to be right on site. ZZXQ finds the opener, but ZYK going to trade out with the frag on to Zemo. Still, ZZXQ going to be on the back of the site as Yaze rotates in. They still need to be careful, but ZYK, he's still frag hunting here. ZD finds another in Q9. They're going to be playing with their backs against the wall now. 2v4. Solo gets one through the edge of the smoke, though. Still a winnable retake, but Pacific could be looking at their first round here.
Very possible, but we've seen Q9 excel in these disadvantaged situations so far. The flash going to go out to allow Solo some space to move on in, but he can't find anything, and he will be taken down. Excellent coordination from Pacific there, locking down that 3 versus 2, and they will get their first round, I think, equally as early as they got it on the last map there, that 3rd round going their way.
It is true. Last time they did start off in a 2-1, but then it went 3-1 to Q9. But if they can tie here and now, Pacific, they will have done more in an opening half than they have so far. Getting the early tie and stalling that momentum from Q9 is exactly what they need to do here to try and earn this map back into their control and potentially even still take this first half. If they can win this first half, Global Risk side should feel nothing but comfortable for them. We do see the double arm setting up once again for Pacific Macta. This time we are going to see ZYK playing in the late mid-peak while Revenge, he's going to be working potentially over towards the B tunnels here. But ZYK, interesting decision because up until today, he hadn't really armed a whole lot.
No, so that was something we'd seen from him before, but obviously Pacific feeling the need to bring out that double arm, so ZYK will be grabbing that one. He's certainly been a very high impact player so far this tournament. In fact, Pacific's MVP in a few of their games yesterday, but see how much he can get done here with that arm in hand. Spots out Yaze, has an opportunity for the kill. Won't be able to hit it, so let's fall back all the way out of mid. And in the meantime, it's once again the presence over towards B. Last time this B crunch worked for them. Haven't been able to find a shot here just yet. Revenge going in dry, looking to find something, but can't get it done. So now there should be utility out to support him as this take gets ready.
This time around, though, ZZXQ, he has to be a much larger impact on this push. Last time, he only got one singular frag, and his sight hold teammate didn't get a single one. Right now, the pressure going to be mounted on them once again. This time, Solo steps it up, finds the opener here. Still, control of this bomb site in the hands of Pacific. ZZXQ in position to strike, but ZYK still playing behind the headshot boxes. Aldrin finds one. Aldrin finds himself another. He's not done just yet. But Zemo, he's still in pit, but ZYK gets the peek. But Aldrin, he's got a triple kill. It's all on ZZXQ, and it's a 2v1. Pacific, all they have to do is peek together, and this should be theirs. ZYK gonna get spotted out, but Revenge comes in for the support, and that's exactly the change we needed from Pacific. And now it's all tied up much earlier on than our previous games.
And that B site has already been exposed as a weakness for Q9. They even managed to get 3 players on there as Pacific were coming in, and they still couldn't do much about it. Pacific just ran over them once that bomb site take came in. So for Q9, it's a bit of a worrying time now. Bean looking for a shot, and had the timing been in his favor, he peaked a second earlier than he did, he might have been able to find one or two Revenge, but not going to be the case. And Pacific will be exercising some mid control here, getting up into that A connector.
And again, as I pointed out in the first 2 matches, Yaze was such a non-factor, and still he sits with 0 frags here 5 rounds in to map number 3. He's really the deciding factor on this hold for Q9. He hasn't been able to hit a single shot so far. This time, though, Pacific, they're looking for a change-up here, and now this is a chance for Yaze to step up to the plate. They are going to be going towards his preferred hold here over towards this A-bomb site with Zemo, but Pacific, they have to be careful because the drop down on ladder has been spotted out, but they're actually going to be blinded by the flash, but it doesn't matter. They peek through, ZYK finds one, Yaze able to trade it out. Yaze stepping it up big time, finds himself 2, but it may not be enough. Pacific now have control over this bomb site. ZZXQ and Solo looking for the retake, but Solo, he's caught along all alone. Revenge takes him down, and it's going to be a 3-on-2 for the retake.
Bean and ZZXY have to get this one happening here. They need to get back into winning ways, or else Pacific are going to run away with this one, and that's a great start from Bean with the first Orm frag onto ZYK. Now into the 2 versus 2. Both players on that attacking side tagged up just a bit. Bean with the low HP here. 52 left. ZZXY full up. But 20 seconds left on this bomb. Already this timer is half gone in Revenge. Spots the jump spot, but Bean hits the shot, and now it's all on to ZDD, who will peek out and spray down both.
What a crucial play there, and this is the start that Pacific wanted all along. They've got their blacklist side put together now, and they've already got just as many rounds in this first half than they had in both blacklist sides so far, and if they could get even 4 rounds here, they have to feel super comfortable about that second half going their way, but now they have the potential to do even more here. They could take a very comfortable blacklist half, which should just be the end of the road here for Q9, but there's still time for a 6-3 half to go their way. Q9, though, they've got to step it up here and now. Yaze, he was able to make an impact more than he had in previous rounds in that last one, but still the rest of his team wasn't able to come through with that retake. But again, Pacific, I like the adjustments they've made. They don't give Bean any opportunities to get the shutdown flag, but this time Revenge, unfortunately, he goes for the wide peek there. The first time Revenge has actually challenged that angle, but rightfully so, Bean wins the fight, and now Q9, this is their chance to tie it up here.
This is the round they need to get back into things here. Team that were the favorites coming in. Been pretty underwhelming so far this tournament, but now, if ever, is the time when they need to step it up. And if they can do it here, if they can get through the semis into the grand final, then everything that didn't go their way in the group stages can be forgiven. All wrongs are righted. But Yaze is under a lot of pressure once again. He found 2 kills in this position last round, but this time he gets tagged and will go down into Aldrin, pushing up. Solo on the flank. This time it works out. Finds 1 kill there, looking for a second as well. It's all on ZDD, 1 versus 4. An incredibly difficult round for him to clutch out. He's actually coming behind Solo here, so his position maybe goes unchecked. Does grab 1, but now the 1 versus 3. You know exactly where he's playing from as well. 50 seconds left. Does catch out another though. ZDD. He's managing to maneuver around and get these fights into his favor. And for now, he has earned himself control of this A-bomb site.
Right now, all he needs to do is keep isolating these 1v1s. If he gives them time to get a pinch on him, that's where he'll fail here. He has a chance to get the wide peek on Bean, misses the shot, but it's not going to matter. ZZXY pops through on that flank from A connector and will shut him down. But still, as you can see on their faces, Q9 not yet comfortable with where they stand here, but it is rightfully so. Their second halves have been fairly weak, to say the least, and seeing this as a tie shouldn't feel comfortable for them.
And I have to say, I think I've seen ZZXY yell about 3 times in the entire event. The rest of his teammates are always very vocal as he sits there calm. But it's an important round for Q9 to get. Going for the double push out A long. The flashbang around from a teammate to buy them some space as well. And while they don't get a kill yet, they do have a lot of information. Solo
once again finds himself in another sneaky position to grab one. ZZHY pushes in, can't win the fight against ZDD though. That will bring it back to a 4v4, but Solo wants to keep going here. Try and press the advantage, and I think this is the best chance that Q9 have to try and win these fights before it even comes to the bomb sites. Revenge will get spotted out. Solo can't hit the shot, but he doesn't get killed either, so this could be worse for him. And we'll be able to call that it looks like it's going to be a B-side hit now with no presence coming up through A at all.
Right now, Bean has to hit this shot, but he misses the opener. This is a huge opportunity. Gets the repeat, though, onto ZDD. He could still stall this one out, but Revenge comes back with one. Aldrin finds another, make it a double kill. It's a 3-on-1 now. Zemo peeks out from the back corner, but he still has to get the 1v3, but it's not going to happen. Aldrin steps it up. Big triple kill on the round, and just like that, Pacific, they're still going to be leading here on their blacklist half.
We've spoken a lot about Aldrin so far over this event and the impact that he's able to have for this team, how he's been their MVP in many matches. Very big frags being put up from him, and now entry fragging onto this B side. He's doing a lot of very big work for his team. And Bean is starting to miss some crucial arm shots when it matters. Did get the re-peek there, but that first kill might have been enough to slip the timing in his team's favor, but let bygones be bygones here. It's a quick push up A long, all 5 players coming, lots of utility, forcing all of the defenders back. And this will be the bomb site 3 for the attacking side of Pacific. They're also going to find that first kill onto Aldrin. Of course, it's Aldrin. He's even going to go through the smoke and look for more. He can't quite find it, but his teammates are doing the work. Down into a 4 versus 3 versus 3, in fact. The ZZHY grabs another. Lots of players very tagged on Q9, and Revenge will win a fight with that Desert Eagle. Now Beam with the all 1 versus 3. Surely no way this one's happening. The smokes are fading, so he's got an avenue in, but needs to find 3 quick shots. ZYK very close to full HP. His teammates tags, but the positioning I think going to be too much. It will be RGXM to swing out and grab it. And now Pacific going for the intimidation factor against Q9 this time.
And Q9 can't do anything except sit there in silence. They know what that means with that round. Pacific, they secure the first half already. Now it's just a matter of making it a 6-3 or a 5-4 in their favor. If this is a 6-3 half, though, for Pacific, surely they should be able to close this one out. They haven't been the team with any issue closing throughout this entire event so far. It's definitely been Q9 who's struggling throughout the event to close these maps, and now they're going to have to fight for their first time in a down situation on rounds, and we've seen in the past every down round situation in a second half, Q9, they haven't been able to recover. So this is really a chance for them to prove themselves even more so here, but Aldrin starts it off right, finds the first frag, ZZHY goes down, and things are looking grim, to say the least, to start off this last round of the half.
Indeed, Solo will trade one back, and it's been a lot of him and Holtron being the top impact fraggers in this game. Zemo's had some decent rounds as well, but now the wrap coming into the B-bomb site, and Q9 needs to do better here. Zemo's going to find himself too, and he's still alive, but the trades come through. Revenge is very happy about it. It's 6-3, just 4 more needed, and Q9, they won the first game 10-8 after being up 7-2. They lost the second after being up 6-3. Now that they're down in rounds, it's not a pretty picture we're painting.
Definitely not, but Q9, it's been a struggle of an event for them. I mean, they've been down a lot of the times in their matches, but now this is a chance to show their resilience. They haven't really won too much when they're already down at the half, so this would be a great chance for them to show everyone that they are still capable of clawing their way back in here. But Pacific, going into their global risk half, they're a team that consistently dominates on global risk port, and honestly, I think they have one of the best defenses on this map out of any team we've seen in the entire world. So honestly, a lot to go up against if you're Q9, but they still have a chance to do that. They've had so many opportunities here to fight their way back, but now Pacific, this is a big opportunity to close.
And this would be Pacific against all the odds, against, well, how badly they started here. They looked pretty shocking. They were terrified of Q9 in the first map and even partially through the second one. Now they look confident again, and this would be them knocking Q9 out of the event, booking their place in that best of 5 grand final that we will be playing on Sunday in at the Shanghai Oriental Sports Center. It's going to be very exciting indeed, but Q9 down but not out. Still a chance to get back into things.
Q9 going to be grouping up for an A push here. They've got 4 of their 5. It's just going to be Solo lurking over towards the B bomb site. Revenge, though, has to start it off right. Pacific, though, going to be relying on him for this opening pick, but RGXM, he's going to be playing over towards A connector, so he could still make an impact, but Q9, they're the team playing nervous this time around. They see just Revenge peak, And that's enough for them to want to back off of this initial engage, but now looks like we may see some late round mid control, but not the player you want to run at right now. Aldrin going to be the one playing behind the double doors here.
He's been very, very consistent for Pacific so far. Not just in this game, but throughout the entire event, he's been one of their highlight fraggers. He's been rock solid where he needs to be. So him holding down mid is certainly a terrifying situation, but RGXM, will he win this engagement? No! Zemo predicts it and gets the perfect peek and headshot. A-side now under a lot of trouble. It's nothing really that can be done. No, Zemo stays alive. I thought for sure he was done, but he's managed to pull 2 kills. Got coming in here. His revenge though actually stuck him on the wrong side. I was wrong, but ZYK's done so much work here. A double kill of his own, and now him versus Bean. 1v1. ZYK goes to the peek. Bean goes for the flick. Neither landing just yet. And Bean sensibly going to swap out to that AK-47. The bomb down in a terrible position. Has to kill ZYK before he can even get close. He's given the opportunity for the headshot, but it's an awkward 1v1 now for both players. ZYK trying to force his engagement and still can't find the frag. He's giving Bean a lot of opportunities, but no one hitting shots. And just 15 seconds left. Bean pretty much needs to go get this kill now. He's not going to be able to get that bomb down, but ZYK loses track of him, and Q9 win a crucial one.
Definitely just ZYK there, getting a little bit too greedy at the last portion of the round. You could tell just by him bouncing up and down there. He's just a little bit antsy because he wants to close this one out, and he knows how good their global risk side is. But unfortunately for them, they do fall in the first round. Q9 doing what they need to, but it still just came down to a 1v1. Q9 have to play a little bit more calculated than that if they want to feel comfortable about bringing this to a tie early on. But still, Q9 showing us it's not over just yet.
Need to remind you, that is exactly how that Bean 1v4 through the A window started. ZYK getting way too eager, jumping about, keen to finish the round before it was technically safe to do so. That one was a bit of a 1 in a million clutch, but still a bit of a history of ZYK just being very eager to close. And in the previous days of this event, his aim has been able to back him up. If he goes for an aggressive play by himself, something like that, where he overextends, he's able to carry through, getting sharp headshots, 2-3 kills where it matters. But the pressure of these semifinals, I think, starting to get to him just a little bit. It's a crucial 1v1 being taken for Q9. Give them their 4th round. But they're going to go much slower here. Taking some mid control now. A bit of presence out towards A along with Bean here, just peeking around, but playing this one slowly once again.
And Revenge hoping that someone challenges him, Bean in a position where he very well could soon here. And it looks like we are going to see a full A split coming out from Q9 Pacific. They've got to be ready for this one. Otherwise, Q9, they're just going to be one away from a tie if they can pick it up on this execution. But as you can see, Aldrin already knows what's coming. He's pre-rotated. RGXM gets the starting frag. Make it a double kill. Revenge finds the double as well. It's a complete shutdown here on the A bomb site. And Bean, he's going to be forced to run away here alone and potentially win this in a 1v5. But surely they won't be running at him this time.
We've seen a couple 1v3s, even a 1v4 or 2, but no 1v5s so far this tournament. In this situation, the odds are just so stacked against you. Admittedly, Bean got a ridiculous 1v4 where Pacific just kept peeking him on just the last map, but with 30 seconds left, I'm not sure they're all going to be keen to peek him one by one this time. Surely, the specter of that round lurks in the back of their minds, refusing to give it up, and it's Revenge to grab a triple kill. Excellent work from the A-side defense, locking it down with a double and a triple for the 2 players there. And that's a great round for them to get back into the swing of things here. 7 rounds on the board for Pacific.
Now just 3 away from closing it out. Q9 having to have a phenomenal close to this game if they want any hopes of winning it now. RGXM going to be switched to play A top by himself. Revenge, he decided to go over towards the bridge cross this time, which actually might be a decent change if this A push comes through. They're going to be expecting Revenge to play on that A top position, but he's actually going to be playing pretty safely on this bridge. So Q9 again grouping up for the A hit, but Pacific, this adjustment could be enough to make it happen.
Depends on how the utility is used by Q9, if they have enough to block it off. Now getting some grenades out that might just be enough to cover their cross, and here comes the execute. Revenge will have a chance, and of course, the utility nowhere near enough. He gives it a chance for a second as well, can't quite find it, but now they know that he's locking down this cross. Going to be so hard to deal with, and hits a ridiculous flick, somehow lands that one. Bean at least trades one back to get this into a 3 versus 4, but Revenge on point, locking down the bridge. His teammates rotating in already, trying to push the issue here against Q9. ZZXQ though was given another, and at this point Pacific needs to just chill, but Aldrin now going in, finds 1 and 2, looking for all 3, Bean so low. Left on just 1 hit, and Aldrin is determined to close his one by himself if he can. His quarry has slipped away though, his prey has fled the nest, but Revenge has spotted it, closes it with a quick deagle shot. And Pacific, they can smell it. They know it's close. Nearly on the verge of knocking out Q9. Just 2 more rounds.
This is exactly where they're comfortable, and as you can see, it's only been 1 round for Q9 in this second half. Pacific, it's not over just yet. They can't afford to pull a Q9 and just start slipping once they get to that 8th round. They've got to anchor down, close out this match, and they will find themselves as our first finalist here. ZZXQ, though, gets the opener, but ZDD has a double to answer back, but still Q9 wins the best in that exchange. It's going to be a 3-for-2 here. Aldrin and RJXM looking to recover. Aldrin already on the flank, though, finds one, gets the double kill. It's going to be a huge round now. ZZXY left all alone in a 1-on-2. Aldrin and RJXM with a great opportunity to take this on to match point. ZZXY, though, in need of a huge clutch here to make this one happen. He does have the bomb in his hands as well, so he can fall off here, but Aldrin is going to be manning this path. He tries to pull out a nade, though. He has a chance to switch, and he still gets the kill. What a play! He still switched from his utility and got that shot off. Surely that shouldn't have happened, but now Pacific, they have 5 match point opportunities, and this should be enough for them to close it out here.
Not only map point, but series point, finals point, essentially, if they can get their way through this one. They will get their first spot in that best of 5 in Shanghai, in the stadium. That is what they're looking for here. And Bean's already taken a lot of damage early on. The Orm tag coming through from Revenge, I believe. Possibly some grenade damage, but it doesn't matter. Either way, he's very, very low. And Aldrin here has been exceptional. 5-1 in this half. Be interested to see what his overall KD from the game and the series is. The other player whose KD I'm interested to see is Yaze. He's had a very rough time. He started every half, I'm pretty sure, at least 0-3, if not 0-4, maybe more. So it's been a very, very rough series for him. Just having a bad day, unfortunately, at the time when his team needs him to have one the least. But nonetheless, it is Pacific now, just 1 round away. 5 kills total between them in the finals.
And now we are going to see Q9 slowly working their way with 3 players here, potentially over towards the B tunnels. They do already have Solo playing in forward mid. It looks like they're just going to be sending ZZXQ here on the lurk by himself over towards A. So they're just going to try and keep these players from rotating from the looks of it as they go in for a B hit. Definitely a smart decision here, but the bomb still isn't in anyone's hands. But ZYK, he goes for the peek, isn't going to find anything, but Aldrin did take down Solo on the lurk. And Aldrin, we've seen how effective he has been from this mid position, but he needs something big now because RGXM has already been downed, and it's a 4-on-3. Still, though, the C4 going to be in an awkward position. It's taken out as well. Beam drops the C4. If ZZXQ goes down here, it could be it, but he holds on. He's going to have a chance to recover that bomb, but it's still a 2-on-3 situation. The C4 separated from its teammates, and it's going to be ZDD. He wants to challenge the issue here, but ZZXQ, he takes down one. It's all on Revenge. 1v3. Otherwise, there's still another opportunity on the table, but Revenge needs something crazy. Finds the first. It could be a chance to bring it back. Yaze goes down. It's a 1v1. Could he do this here and now? The 10-4 in his eyes. It's down to the 1v1, but it's not going to happen. ZZXY shuts it down, and it's going to be Q9 living to find another day here.
Still an incredibly near thing, though. Revenge makes that far closer than it has any right to be. But Q9 now, they get their 5th, still facing down the 9 from Pacific, but they've at least earned the right to have a chance to get back into this one. Revenge and Aldrin leading the charge on frags. Yaze does get 1 to get on the board at least, finally. And it's Solo having a similarly rough performance here. But for Q9, at least they're in with a shot. 4 rounds needed to make it overtime, and 4 out of 6, and/or 4 out of 7 will get them the win. Very tough situation still, though. Pacific really feeling confident now.
We do see here, it looks like a potential A hit coming out from Q9. They're starting to group up 4 players A long, and again, Solo going to be left to that lurk role. But this time, they are going to be in a challenge where Revenge isn't on A top once again. This time it's ZDD playing with RGXM close by, over by connector. So Q9, they've got to be careful here. If they don't realize that there's going to be 2 crossed AKs, this could be a difficult situation. Bean still scoping out for that opening, but Q9, they know they've got to move quickly here. Bean going to try and get some vision, though, on A top, but ZDD is playing this exactly how you need to when the pressure's on. You just play on that back staircase and wait for the late peek here. He now has a chance to spot him, but Bean, he's going to get that call out, and it looks like they want to fall back here.
There's been a bit of a rotation from Pacific as well. They do have ZYK very aggressive, and he'll grab the first kill. That's crucial. That'll give them enough time to get another player over to this B-bomb site. If it does turn out that's where Q9 wants to go. And Revenge, you can see running around, caught in rotation right now. Not sure exactly where to run, as it looks like Q9 unsure themselves, but Revenge is still going to hit it. Bean goes down. 5 versus 3. Q9 This is their last shot to stay in this one, and Revenge does miss a shot. That gives them the opportunity. ZYK, lots of pressure on him, will fall back onto this B bomb site. Try and hold on to it. Aldrin's on the flank, and this time it can't work. Now the 3 versus 3. United brought it back this far. They do have 2 players waiting for them on this bomb site. CFGI finds the entrance. EDD, he locks it down. It's down to the 1 versus 1. RGXM versus Emo. This could be it. That could be finals, and it is. Pacific Macta have done it. They will be the first team through, knocking out Q9, and they'll get that slot in the stadium for the best of 5.
You can see the looks on their faces. Q9 devastated they weren't able to win this one, and rightfully so. I mean, they had so many good opportunities to close this series in the first 2 maps that surely going into this 3rd map, Pacific knew exactly what they needed to do, and that's exactly what they did. They brought everything they had to the table and really put Q9 in their place here. Not only that, they are going to be the first team in the grand finals and